Mulching is a valuable practice for promoting health and vitality of the trees. By applying a layer of organic or inorganic mulch, you can improve soil fertility, preserve moisture, protect roots, and suppress weeds to grow next to the trunk where you mulched. So what are the benefits of mulching? First, consistent moisture. By putting a layer of mulch next to the tree, you reduce evaporation of water from the soil, thus keeping the moisture level consistent and help with feeding trees because they feed through solutions. Second, reducing weed growth. A layer of mulch reduces weed growth next to the tree, thus preventing competition for food and for water, and allowing all these nutrients to go to the tree and not to your weeds, and thus also reducing the need for weed control next to the tree. Number 3, temperature regulation. Mulch acts as insulation, thus helping to keep tree roots colder on hot days and warmer in cold nights. Number 4, soil health improvement. If you are using organic mulch, while it breaks down, what happens is that it builds soil fertility by providing these organic nutrients to the soil and also improving the life of microbes in it. 5, protection against mechanical damage. By keeping mulch next to the tree trunk, it creates this barrier that protects you damaging the roots while, for example, mowing your lawn or doing other gardening tasks. So what are the mulch materials for mulching? There can be 2 different types of materials, organic and inorganic. Organic mulching is my favorite because it also builds fertility of the soil. So you can use absolutely anything. You can use cut grass, any weeds, even your kitchen leftovers. You can use bark, anything that can potentially rot and shred it to some kind of few centimeters can be used as organic mulch and will get digested by the soil. Inorganic mulch can be also used, for example, gravel, stones, rubber, anything like this can be used to mulch around the trees. It offers long-lasting weed suppression. However, it has less benefits than organic mulch because, for example, it doesn't build fertility of the soil. Therefore, if possible, I always prefer organic mulch. Even if you do not have, for some reason, organic mulch, which is very difficult to believe, you can still use cardboard boxes and put them like I put here below, which will be also an organic mulch that will decompose and somehow improve the fertility of the soil.
So let's see now how I mulch this tree. First of all, I cut the grass as low as possible in order to weaken the weeds so that only roots mostly left in the soil. Second step, I have some ash from cooking shashlik, so that I am going to spread it below. So with water it goes and in the soil, and the minerals of ash dissolves and feeds the tree roots. The second step is, because it's been several years at least that nothing was done for this tree, I am putting cardboard boxes. They are much better than other organic mulch in preventing sun reaching the weeds. So I always use it when I have it for specifically difficult places with a lot of weeds. It will be decomposting, and while doing that, it would also supply some carbon for the tree as well. So what I am going to do is to create a circular or donut-shaped mulch bed around this tree, leaving a small space around the trunk for proper airflow. In this situation, it's much better to cut cardboards, first of all, because then water would be easier seeping through cardboards to reach the soil, and second of all, because then you create in some places even several layers of cardboard, so better protection, but also because it's much easier to create the shape that I want when I cut the cardboard boxes into smaller pieces. So in summary, adding cardboard boxes provide additional weed protection and weed suppression. And the more difficult you think it would be to get rid of these weeds, the more I would recommend you to use cardboard boxes under any other mulch. Now, once I put them, let me water it well, which also helps these cardboard boxes to settle, but also starts feeding your tree because trees feed with water solutions. And now it's not only water, but also some of the elements which were added as ash will start seeping through the soil. Now, the next step, I'm going to add quite tough mulch, big pieces of some tree branches and nettle. As I mentioned previously, you can add anything that you want, and the more tough the pieces of organic mulch you add, the longer they are going to decompose. I could potentially add them without cutting, but I am doing it just in order to create a better shape and to feed them around the tree easier. Again, that's an optional step. In general, when applying mulch, it's much better to have more mulch than less. The minimum would be about 10-15 centimeters in my opinion. On the tree like this, you can easily go up to 20 centimeters high. It also protects cardboard boxes from flying away. I am going to regularly monitor mulch layer for compaction and fluff it occasionally to allow water penetration, and also replenish mulch as needed to maintain the desired depth of mulch. As I mentioned, in this case, optimal in my opinion would be about 20 centimeters or about 8 inches. While here is an example of mulching trees, you can use the same technique to mulch bushes or any other plant. Obviously, the smaller the plant, the smaller mulch should be. However, do preserve a depth of mulch as much as possible, and follow the simple rules in this video. For example, regularly checking if you need to add more mulch or if it's compacted. Now that I finished with quite big pieces of mulch, I am also going to fish some of the mulch from quite dirty pond that hasn't been cleaned for at least several years. So it has an excellent supply of mulch. You don't have to use plants that grow on the soil. You can use, as I mentioned, any organic mulch, and there is nothing wrong in using mulch from water sources like I do here. It also has some additional benefits as to other mulch. For example, obviously there are no weed seeds in it. And then the last step is I will put cut grass clippings. I generally like to finish mulching with something that looks much nicer than the rest of the mulch. So grass clippings are usually a good way to finish. Also, for example, you can use tree bark or cones from evergreen trees. One of the mistakes people make when they mulch trees is what's called volcano mulching. So they are piling mulch against the tree trunk in a cone shape. However, it can lead to moisture retention, rot, and pest infestation. So while mulching, it's important to leave some area next to the tree trunk open. That's exactly what I am doing now, as I mentioned, to prevent moisture accumulation and potential rot. So this is how it looks now, and the idea is to keep it always mulched like this, whether it's winter or spring, summer, or any other season, because whatever the season is, it keeps building the fertility of the soil, suppresses weeds, and so on.
Mulching trees is simple yet very effective agricultural technique for your trees. It not only prevents weed growth but also improves the fertility of your soil and retention of moisture. Therefore, I recommend mulching any tree that you have in your garden, but also bushes and any other plant where you want to promote their longevity.